Welcome back to SCSU Local. As temperatures warm up, flooding becomes a concern for many residents of Minnesota. We hear from workers at Three Crows Coffees about their experiences with trying to beat the floodwaters.
We just started pumping this morning at about, I don't know, 8:30 or so. This is Three Crows Cafe and Coffee House in Delano. There's of course lots of dangers because we're so close to the river and there's so much water, but the most immediate thing is that our electric power for most of the building runs on the ceiling downstairs. We have a basement underneath the old kitchen, and it's on the floor joists. It's attached to the floor joists, so if the water gets too deep, it'll hit the electrical and then we'll lose all our power in the building. So we have pumps that are pumping. We have like 3 trash pumps right now that are pumping lots and lots of water out of the basement.
On Thursday, there were people in here kind of packaging things up, and we have a back storage room that's a little lower than all the other levels, and that room right now is underwater. So there's a pump coming from there.
They're saying that 1908 is the crust, and we're hoping that that's true, but we don't know because they did that yesterday and then it went up a whole bunch. So, but it has crested in Mayer and it looks like it's coming down, so then we're thinking that that means that we're probably going to crest too soon. We're usually higher, a lot higher. You know, you can look down the bank and it's probably 10 feet or 12 feet down or something till you get to the water. But in the spring, you know, it comes up, and usually just not this far. So. I've owned this building for 6 years, and last year was the first year that we had any danger of flooding, and it was like the 3rd highest record since they've been keeping records, evidently. And so 1965, of course, that's the benchmark. That was the year that it really flooded in Delano.
As of last night, they thought we weren't going to be open today because there was water all over, and then so it didn't quite crest as high or rise as high as they thought.
They were going to sandbag, but they haven't yet, and I'm not really sure why. They've been busy doing other things, I guess. And also yesterday, we didn't think it was going to. We thought it was going to crest at like 19.2, which is pretty okay. And of course then, but it's dangerous, you know, because it starts getting really close to being too high. So I don't really know. I suppose if we had called them and asked for sandbags, but we didn't know it was going to jump up until last night at like 9 o'clock or something. We were feeling pretty comfortable until then, and it's kind of hard to get sandbags in the middle of the night. And now today, there's way too much water. I mean, we could probably put sandbags down, but I'm not sure that they would help us too much.
Flooding is definitely on everyone's mind as we get closer to the warmer days.
However, warmer days also bring positive experiences, like enjoying some homemade maple syrup.
We visited the St. John's Maple Syrup Festival to see how simple tree sap becomes tasty maple syrup.
The Arboretum has different festivals to invite people to come in and enjoy nature, and this one's our annual spring, sort of rite of spring to come out back on the land again and invite people out for maple syruping. And we had a festival today and one again next weekend, and we probably had 400 to 500 people today, and a lot of families, little kids, and each kid gets to come out and each family gets to tap a tree, you know, bore into it to see if they can get some sap out of it. A little cold today, didn't run real well today, but then after they got it tapped, then they get to practice collecting. We have about 1,000 trees already tapped, and so they'll do a little collecting and then get to go see in the evaporator in the sugar shack and see some syrup being cooked.
During the late winter and early spring, the weather and science of maple trees allows us to go out and tap sugar maple trees and collect their sap and turn them into syrup. So if we get out here, we and find a sugar maple, we take what's called the brace and bit, which is a type of Giro, I guess. And what we do is we look for an area that's suitable to tap, not too close to any previous tap holes. And then we drill it in about 2 inches or so to reach the xylem, which is where the sap comes from. And then once we've drilled our hole, we tap a spile in, which looks like this. And so then once we tap the spile in, we're able to put a bag or a bucket on, which will collect the sap and make it nice and easy for us to turn it into syrup.
There's a lot of student volunteers that come out, and then they collect it, bring it up into the sugar shack area where it's then processed.
Our evaporator is made up of 3 main parts. The bottom part is the arch, and it gets that name because it has that arch-like appearance to it. We stick the wood in the far end of the arch, or the firebox, which is 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. Flames and hot gases kind of go all the way down, and then up and out this far chimney. The pans, where the sap is, sit over the arch, so they get heated up. As they get heated up, the steam hits the cover, and up and out the chimney and the steam goes. Now you might notice we have 3 pans in here. One pan starts from here and goes to the end. Another one goes between these 2 couplings, and the far one goes from this coupling to the far end. It's a continuous flow evaporator, meaning that sap is continually coming in one part of the evaporator, and then the finished syrup comes out at a different part of the evaporator.
We make about 150, 200 gallons of syrup, and we use it in a couple ways. The monks in the abbey have it as for their meals. We use it for sort of festivals and things, like we had maple syrup on all the ice cream today here. And we also use it as thank you gifts. So we don't actually sell any, but we also use it for that purpose. We encourage people to come out that want to just enjoy nature. So we'll have another festival next Saturday, and people can come and enjoy it. And we have some volunteers. I think slots still available for that. Probably another 20 could come. And then just people want to come out and just enjoy it while we're cooking, kind of watch our Arboretum website and know that they can come out and get a notice if they want to be a volunteer.
I never knew how long the whole process of making syrup was.
I guess I appreciate the taste even more now.
Well, we'll have to appreciate more stories from Central Minnesota next week on a new episode of You Local. I'm Josh Ackerman.
And I'm Danielle Latour, reminding you to keep it local.
City of St. Cloud, just 70 miles northwest of Minneapolis. But from the central Minnesota community, you can see every inch of the globe in the faces of 16,000 students, in study abroad programs held in 20 nations, in the cultures of 80 countries, represented by students and faculty. It is an international campus, large enough to bring you the world, yet small enough for you to recognize your place in it. As a leader in higher education in central Minnesota, St. Cloud State University programs have been recognized by nearly every major accrediting board, affiliated with our 175 academic programs. It is a 17-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, one-on-one attention, and hands-on learning. It is about asking new questions and asking more of yourself. It is finding out who you are, what you want, and how far you can go. 92% of our graduates are employed in their field of study within a year of graduation. 15% of them go on to graduate schools like Stanford, Mayo Medical, and Princeton. And 100% of them make a difference. because they understand the world around them. They've met its challenges face to face, and they know how to apply what they've learned. Most importantly, they know they'll never stop learning.